Welcome or welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to take you on the journey and show you how I made this sumptuous pigtail soup. Oh my goodness. It was so good. The first thing we actually need is our pigtail. I went and I got that. My husband haven't had pigtail soup in over 2 years, so we're able to get that amount and paid $4 for that. First, we want to give it a soak it. You can soak it overnight, but because we just got it, I went and I boiled it, and then I throw off that water, and then I boil it again. Then I went ahead and I soaked my peas. Unfortunately, my soup didn't get that nice red color that I wanted. I probably needed to use more peas, but if I had more peas in it, then my son would not want it. So this is after the pea is soaked, and then make sure to wash your peas. I throw off that water, then add it to the pigtail that was already being cooked. So that was the second time we're gonna boil the pigtail. We're going with some herbs. I'm going with garlic, and in the meantime, I'm also gonna add some chicken, a little bit of chicken back, not much, just some little pieces of meat that I have around the house in the freezer. And sometimes you're cooking and you have this little piece left and you just put it up. Yeah. So I just went ahead and I do that. And my son doesn't necessarily love pigtail. So most of that pigtail is really for my husband. I think I just had one piece. So we're gonna go in, and I like to dice up my garlic, make them very, very tiny. So that is what I'm doing now. And then I'm going to add it to the pot that is already being cooked. Let's do that. So we're going in and we're adding the garlic to the pot. We're gonna cover and allow it to cook. In the meantime, prepare our chicken. Cut the chicken in bite-sized pieces. To be honest, I don't like big chunks of meat or vegetable when I'm cooking, right? So I think I have a little piece of chicken breast here, piece of chicken back. I also have two chicken wings. So I'm just gonna cut them and make them in smaller piece, and then I'm going to, they were already cleaned up for the most part, but they need to be washed because I don't remember. I think I washed some of them were not yet washed. So I'm just gonna be going in with that, and as I said, I'm just making sure they're in bite-sized pieces, so you could actually do that. If you want to go with them big, it's up to you. I didn't choose to put my chicken in while the other meat was being cooked because the chicken is actually very, very soft, and I didn't want it to be all mashed out in the pot, right? Because I recognize the chicken here very soft, so there's no need to cook them for very long, to be honest. Once you have them to your perfected size, make sure, guys, you wash them. So we're going in and we are washing our chicken. I wash it about 4 or 5 times, right? As I said, it was already cleaned up, and there's not much to, because once I buy my chicken, I cut them in smaller pieces, I clean them up, but I don't generally wash them at that stage because I don't want any water to be in the bag. So I'm going to go in with vinegar. You can also go in with your lemon or lime, so whatever you have, or you can use both. All right, so just use what you have. I always say that. That's one of my mantra. Use whatever you have in the kitchen. You don't need a lot to cook. And I'm hoping on this channel I can, share with you some pretty easy meal ideas that I do, and you can actually learn from them. You can make some nice meal out of little and nothing. The things that you have. I don't know if I'd share with you my rice and peas menu. use your rice and peas to make fried rice. So the peas is almost done, but I'm waiting until it's really soft before I add up my chicken. In the meantime, I'm going to gonna cut my vegetables. This may look like it's a small amount, but you will see when I'm done. The pot was almost packed to the brim, so it is not really a lot. I like washing my vegetables first before I peel them, and after I peel them, I wash it again. I like doing that. You don't have to do it that way if you don't want to, but I prefer doing it that way. So I'm going through and I'm peeling. No, it would be good if you have like additional vegetable like chocho, you have like maybe dashin, yam. Some people say they don't put pumpkin in red pea soup. I put pumpkin in it, but I didn't have any. So I just go ahead and just use. This is all I had in the house. I had lots of potato and I also have lots of carrots. So I'm basically just using what I have. You can choose to scrape your carrots or you can peel it, whatever your preference. I'm doing what I feel in the mood to do. Sometimes I peel it, sometimes I scrape it. So there's no particular rule. Well, I don't know if there's a rule, but I don't really felt like I wanted to peel it. So I just do it the way I wanted to do it. Once I'm done, I'll wash them, and these are now washed, and I'm gonna cut them in some small bite-sized pieces. Some person will cut this in two, right? And that's it. This is a small one, so I'll just cut that in four. This one, I think I cut it into about eight. So allow the sizes to be small, and so when you can just take it up and eat, right? So that's the thing I want to do. So let's continue doing that. So even though it looks small, there it is. So now we're ready to add our chicken to our pot because the peas is somewhat soft. It's not extremely soft, but it's more than enough time to add our chicken in. So I want to go in and add it. I add a little boiling water to it because it was just a small amount. So I always, whenever you're cooking, make sure you have your kettle with some boiling water. The next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go in and make some dumplings. Not doing a lot, just using 1 cup, adding a little cornmeal. Now my family don't like cornmeal in their dumpling, but I love my cornmeal. I'm adding just a tips of salt, not much to be honest. You can even do without the salt. One of my friend showed me here on YouTube that whenever he is cooking like that, he doesn't add salt to the dumpling because the pot already has salt. But you can add salt. I choose to add salt, but not a whole lot. I try mixing it around together first, as you see me doing here now. Then I go in with my water. Take your time with the water, just a small amount each time, portion it, and then you fold, you know, everything in, mixed everything together, just as you see me doing here. Some persons use spoon to mix it first, then they go in with their hand. I just go in with my hand. My hands are clean. I don't have any nail polish on my fingers, right? My hands are clean, my nails are clean. So that is why, you know, if you cook like this, you have to make sure your hands are always clean. So this is what the pot is looking like now. Look like it's ready for the vegetables. So I'm gonna go in. And notice I didn't choose to put the vegetables early because I didn't want them to be all very soft and all mashed out, even though that happened at the end, but not too bad. So I'm adding those in. Then I'm going to make my dumplings and I'm going to add them in. Now, one of my other friends on YouTube called the small dumplings roly poly. So don't notice the size of the dumplings. They are very tiny. Don't count them. Stop counting. Stop counting it. Remember, as I said, my family is not large, so I don't need to cook a whole lot. So those I'm making in that size. You can make it in like literally any shape you want it to be. So I'm making it like that, and I'm also making the other side. Let me know if you want me to do a detailed video on how I make my dumpling in the comment section. But there's literally nothing to it. You can make it into a ball and just put a little thing in the middle as you see me doing there right now. Most is always nice and neat. Yeah, that is how we do it. So I'm going to finish it and come back and show you. So here we have some other spices. So we're going in with some scallion. If you are a pepper person, this is a great time to also add your pepper in. For my scallion, I like cutting them in small pieces too. You don't have to do it that way. So I went in and I cut one piece very tiny. So when the soup is finished cooking, you won't see any scallion. So at the end of the day, even your kids or your spouse who don't like those things, they will actually enjoy it. So now we're going to go in with some coconut milk. Now guys, this is like when you're making rice and peas and you have the peas and you add your milk to it. See, similar with this. I'm also gonna go in and now add my dumplings. All right, so those are my dumplings. Not a whole lot as you would have seen, but we're adding them. Remember, dumplings don't take any time to cook, so you don't have to wait for too long. I went in and I added those. Now, generally a pot should look somewhat red. But because the peas, they are not really red, yeah, so I'm actually going with a little chicken noodle. Normally you shouldn't really add it to it, but there's no harm in adding your chicken noodle to it, to be honest. Some people don't. I do it most times. This chicken noodle actually has pumpkin in it, so it's like a pumpkin mix in it. So that is what changed the colors from the white color we have onto this. And then the other piece of scallion I add to the pot without cutting it small. So I added that part last. I also added some corn that I have in the freezer. I just cut them. These corn I paid 98 cents for 6 of them. So I just cut them in smaller pieces and I add them. Look at that. Guys, the soup done, you know. It's finished. Look palm meat, man. Looks really nice. See the time? 5:14. We're making dinner. And so your soup is ready to serve. So this is what it's looking like when it's all done. My pot was turned off for a little bit. And we're ready to serve him up. Yeah, man. Every piece you will get corn, soup, dumpling, you name it. So we're going in with some pigtail, corn. Yeah, man, we're throwing everything into the bowl. My husband said I want a big plate, so I did share him up a big plate, and of course he couldn't eat it off. But he said I haven't had this in 2 years, so I want a lot. So I gave him most of the pigtail. And I think I just took one piece. To be honest, I'm trying to cut out pork out of my diet. Though hard it may be, it's still, serve them up and then you go in with some soup. What I'm loving is that I actually have soup. You know, sometimes you cook soup, when you look, all the soup is boiled out and you're mostly left with food. But I'm happy I have soup to serve and enjoy. So his plate is quite big, probably twice the size of mine. But it was quite a nice dinner. You can actually have this for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whatever you choose. And you know what is good? When you have leftovers and the next day you put it on the stove, warm it again, and you're good to go. So this is what it's looking like. And I'm sitting down and I'm enjoying myself. I actually added some pepper to mine because I like pepper, so I just have pepper flakes that I just add to mine. Oh my god, I did enjoy it, and I'm going to show you the finish. Look at the bone. I went in and I did enjoy. But if you did enjoy this video, go right ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button if you're interested in content like this. Simple meal idea that anyone can make. Consider subscribing to the channel. Until the next one, it's bye for now.